Catch me if I fall.
4 years on from a meeting to determine the world champion, USA and the Netherlands reunited for the pick of the games at this World Cup so far. Unlike in 2019, it is the opportunity to make a statement rather than silverware that is at stake. As expected, the two Group E favourites made winning starts against debutants. That said, neither the margin of the USA's win over Vietnam or indeed the Netherlands' success against Portugal was as emphatic as they might have been, or indeed as performances arguably deserved. But in what is a relatively tough-looking Group E, when you are the favourites to finish in the top two places, starting with 3 points, absolutely the most imperative aspect. Rita Spitzer and Lindsay Horan, the respective captains. The referee in charge out in the middle is Yoshimi Yamashita from Japan. Giving her some assistance and the benefit of a second opinion, the VAR from Venezuela, Juan Soto. Well, it is an unchanged USA 11 with Alyssa Nair in goal. Julie Ertz continues in the back four, having started her first international in 2.5 years against Vietnam. Savannah De Mello retained in midfield after a full debut on Saturday. And it is again the formidable trio of Rodman Morgan and Sophia Smith who got her first World Cup goals against Vietnam up front. Rose Lavelle again on the bench, despite some expectations that she would start. The Netherlands' only change is enforced. The vastly experienced defensive line in front of Van Domstelen includes Sunday's goalscorer Stephanie van der Glaat. Jackie Groenen wins her 100th cap in midfield. The alteration is in attack, where Everton's Katja Snoeis replaces the injured Lynette Berenstein. 6 of that Netherlands 11 started the 2019 final. Just 4 of those in the USA starting lineup did likewise. Wellington's regional stadium is the setting for arguably the most hotly anticipated game of the 2023 tournament so far. It is the Netherlands who get us underway, a first heavyweight contest of this World Cup, a first meeting of sides ranked inside the world's top 10. The USA with the advantage of an extra day to prepare. They beat Vietnam on Saturday. The Dutch getting the better of Portugal on Sunday. Farah Williams, where's your money tonight?
Obviously seeing my score prediction in yesterday's Spain game and thinks I'm Mystic Meg now, but I think it will be a USA win. I'm not going to put a scoreline out there. I don't want it all the, you know, the tweeters and the Instagrammers coming at me when I get it wrong. I only like it when I get it right. But I'm expecting a highly competitive game from both nations here, and one that I'm really excited to be a part of, a 2 a.m. game. I mean, there's not much that can get better than this one.
Andries Jonker certainly has bought into the hype surrounding the contest. Asked whether the best that Europe has to offer have closed the gap on the USA over the course of the last 4 years. Well, he certainly believes that this contest is a good match to try and provide some evidence one way or another. It's chasing the ball back, they're leaving it for goalkeeper Nair. Finds Rodman, who wanted to continue herself despite Horan being available. This is Janssen for the Netherlands. Away by Ertz. Germa for Crystal Dunn. Goes down quickly by 3 in the Dutch orange. Is Sherida Spitzer, who provided the corner from which Stephanie van der Gracht scored the only goal of the game against Portugal. No player has had more assists since the start of the last World Cup than the Netherlands skipper. A heavy touch from Van der Donk. And the USA in business for the first time. Morgan poked away by Jonsson. And there was some calm defending in there from Daniela Van der Donk. Just as it looked as though the USA were about to demonstrate the menace that everyone knows that they are capable of. Here comes Morgan. Got Spitzer for company. Away by Jackie Groenen, but only as far as Morgan again. Here's Dunn, one of the 4 Americans who did start the 2019 World Cup final triumph against the Netherlands. Just beyond the reach of Haran, and Brooks sees it behind for a goal kick.
It's been a really good opening for both teams. You can see the high energy already within 3 minutes of kickoff. Both the Netherlands and the USA are wanting to play this game and start this game with some intensity, and you can see that, I think, which is forcing a lot of errors. And we're just seeing there the US get down the sides, which I think is going to be something that, you know, will happen quite often within this game this morning, this evening, whatever time it is around the world.
1 p.m. in Wellington, 2 a.m. in the UK, 9 p.m. Eastern time in the United States. Haran closed down really quickly by Groenen. Brooks, the exciting teenager. Well, she's only a teenager for one more day, turns 20 tomorrow. Does Esme Brooks, the scorer of the goal that guaranteed the Netherlands' place at this World Cup, the stoppage time winner in their final qualifier against Iceland.
I think the interesting thing for me is Spitzer, you mentioned there, a player for this Netherlands team that has been so key in that midfield area. We've seen her line up in this World Cup as playing the right side of a back three for this Netherlands team, so distributing from a little bit deeper. The same with Julie Ertz of the US team in the World Cup when they beat the Netherlands, was a key part in that midfield area. And again, interesting to see that she's in a back line.
It was Brooks showing she has some devilment to go with the skill, dragging back Emily Fox. And that is why it's a US free kick. Done for Sullivan. Germa finds touch before Fox can do anything about it. Jonsson to Spitzer, winning her 218th cap tonight. She is the Netherlands' most capped footballer. Powerless to do anything about the run there of Rodman. De Mello moving away from Ruud, finding Dunn. The Netherlands made a bit of a mess of that, and Morgan couldn't react in time.
There's a half chance there for the US. I think the problem start you can see here, I'm not too sure Dunn was looking for the pass through, but yeah, really poor defending from the Netherlands, and it just goes past Morgan there inside the box, and Dom Seller's able to collect it. But it actually started with Spitzer out on the right-hand side, and I think that could be a problem for the Netherlands. When she gets really wide as a back three, in that transition moment, I really think Smith can hurt her down that left-hand side. It's definitely, you know, something that we can keep our eye on throughout the half.
Haran with the free kick. We all know the reach of Dunn. He perhaps wasn't aware of how quickly her captain was going to look to take that set piece.
That and lack of quality on the free kick itself. But it's certainly an area that I think the US have identified as a weakness for this Netherlands team. Down the US left, and obviously the Netherlands right-hand side.
And sticking with the three at the back, the experienced three. This formation that has been preferred by Andries Jonker since he took over in August of last year. But it might just be an approach that the exuberance of one or two of the US's younger players can take advantage of. Only time will tell.
I think what we do know about this Netherlands team is that they are an adaptable team. They're a team that can change formation within game, and they have the players on the pitch to do so if they feel it's getting a little bit uncomfortable for them.
Pelova, that's a smart turn. Received done. Away by Ertz. De Graat. Just about winning the ball for the Dutch. Horan sending Rodman away, up against Spitzer. Cleared away from danger by Stephanie van der Graat, who scored the one and only goal against Portugal to become just the second Dutch player to score in 2 World Cups. Bristol done with the USA throw. Rodman making herself available. Interesting that Rodman has started on the left with Sophia Smith on the right. It was the other way around from kickoff against Vietnam on Saturday. And into Horan, that's a really smart turn. And now there's some space to exploit. De Mello. Here is Sophia Smith up against Brooks. And into a really dangerous area that De Mello couldn't quite take advantage of.
It's brilliant from the US. They just get the ball into their wide areas where they know they have 2 really dangerous players here in Smith. Gets a really, you know, inside the final third, so a great ball into the box. It's De Mello that joins from that midfield area, but the off-ball running to allow Smith to find those passes in that final third has been really effective for this US team in this opening 10 minutes.
Oh, heavy touch from Van Domselaar, just about recovered and reacted in time. Look a bit nervy to the Netherlands.
That was just about to roll off my tongue. They do, the Netherlands. They wasn't pressed when they played Portugal in their opening game. Portugal sat off of them, gave them lots of time to play out. This US team are high pressing them, giving them no time to settle and try and find their way into the game. So they might have to adapt. They might have to go a little bit longer just to clear some lines, put themselves under less pressure. But they're certainly finding it difficult to get the ball out from the back 3.
Much has been made in the build-up to this game. Questions asked of both head coaches about it, as there has been ever since they were drawn together, about the history between the two. But it's a demonstration really of the significance of just the 2 previous competitive games that they played against each other, that they linger in the memory, not just the 2019 final, but the Olympic quarter-final of 2 summers ago, which went all the way to penalties before the USA prevailed in that one as well. Rodman hoisting it across the face of goal. Smith looking to keep it in play. Wood gets it back from Spitzer. And the Graat can only go back to Van Domselaar, who is a little more urgent with her clearance this time.
You can see on every negative pass from the Netherlands, the US are just wanting to pounce on it and press that. And they're putting the goalkeeper under a lot of pressure when it goes back.
Here's Arsenal's Victoria Pelova. 1-2 with Martins was the idea, at least.
Martins is a player, for me, in the Portugal game, was non-effective. Didn't really remember her being on the pitch, if I'm honest. I did that game against Portugal, and as I said, she was a player that, for a Netherlands team that dominated so much of the ball, wasn't really in the game. So certainly in this game, she'll want to be more involved and more effective, because she certainly is a key player for this team.
And a goal-scoring presence with 4 in her last 6 internationals. Morgan. Trinity Rodman. Is done. And the deflection took any of the venom out of this shot, easily dealt with by Van Domsela.
Just the way that the US team commits so many bodies to their attack. They have options all over the park, and you can see here this is Crystal Dunn from left back getting involved higher up the pitch and getting a shot away just from the edge of the box. Really good block there that takes the sting out of the ball from Van der Donk.
Dunn has seen a lot of the ball in the opening 12.5 minutes, but couldn't guide it into the feet of Sophia Smith on that occasion. Nick Janssen. Wellington's turning away from Ertz. Schnois involved for pretty much the first time. Pelova for Spitzer. Jill Ruud dispossessed. There's Martins, who went down and momentarily stayed down. A concern for the Dutch, considering that they've come into the tournament without Vivian Miedema. Lost her replacement, Lynette Berenstein, to an injury in the game against Portugal on Sunday. They would hardly be deserving of any more.
Yeah, Vivian Miedema was a big loss to this Netherlands team. You know, we've seen earlier in the season she picked up that ACL injury at Arsenal, so that's a big loss. And Berenstein in the opening game against Portugal, her movement, you know, who runs off the shoulders of defenders, causes problems for opposition. Another key player missing, so the Netherlands won't be wanting any more.
Free kick for the challenge by Van der Gracht, despite the Dutch protests. Sullivan with the free kick. Beyond the reach of Haran.
It's a wasted free kick there for me in a central area, a promising position for the US, and just the quality and execution of the delivery of the free kick just wasn't good enough, and it runs out of play.
Nice, loses out to Ertz. It's in play by Fox. It is DeMello came up with a moment of inspiration. She was hauled back by Groenen.
Yeah, you can see here, beautiful flick. Just the back.
Will have learnt their lessons from 4 years ago. Perhaps a demonstration here from them that they have done. Pelova, options. Poked away by Dunn. Here's Jill Ruud. A stunning finish. And having soaked up the early pressure, it is the Netherlands who have struck first in the game of the World Cup so far. Jill Ruud makes it 1-0.
It's fantastic. I spoke earlier. Martin not having a big impact in that Portugal game. It actually starts from Martins in the centre of the park, where she gets on the ball and turns really early. She drives with the ball. She ends up finding her teammate pull over out on the right-hand side. So we'll see here as it comes in to Martins. Does really well to get on the half turn and drive with the ball. Finds her teammate pull over. Crystal Dunn slips. You thought here that Pullover had wasted a chance with the delivery she put into the box, but she gets a second opportunity to pass it to Rudd on the edge of the box, who finishes perfectly into the bottom corner, hard and low. And we've seen this so often for Wolfsburg this season from Rudd. A fantastic finish and puts her team 1-0 ahead.
A demonstration that the Dutch can deliver on the expectation. A 22nd international goal for Jill Roord, who is returning to WSL with Manchester City next season. And might that just be one of these statement moments of the World Cup so far, albeit Van Domsela immediately called into action to keep it at 1-0.
What a fantastic save that was from Domsela. I think it was Rodman from the edge of the box. We'll see here from the replay. Netherlands just don't clear their line. It falls to Rodman. She hits it early. Tries to catch Domsela unsettled off the line, and it's a great save. And the US get themselves a corner. But they put the Netherlands straight under pressure after conceding a goal.
USA will be desperate to hit back and hit back quickly. Sullivan delivers the corner. He's nodded down by Haran. No drama that time for Van Domsela.
Yeah, a comfortable save there. Delivery deep, Haran gets up, gets a clean header, but just no power behind it, and comfortable for Domsela to just collect the ball.
Gilmer with the header. Forward by Pelova, who had such a big role in the goal. Roord, the scorer of the goal. Van der Donk. Pelova. Suddenly bristling, the Netherlands, and looking dangerous.
You can already see the lift and the energy that that goal was giving this Netherlands team. They was under the cosh for the opening 15 minutes. The US put pressure on every, as I said, every negative pass from this Netherlands team. The Netherlands just couldn't get out. And since the goal, we've seen now the Netherlands on the front foot and putting this US team under a little bit of pressure.
A repeat of the 2019 final is thus far living up to its early World Cup top billing. Control from Brooks gives possession to Rodman. It's her first World Cup start at the weekend against Portugal. Well, Jill Roord has her second World Cup goal. Let's go with the one that she scored 4 years ago on the opening day for them against New Zealand. Spitzer forward. Here's De Mello. One of those who had a glimpse of the target for the USA before they fell behind. Run forward. This is Smith. He's behind in the end for a corner off Esme Brooks.
She's very exciting, Smith. Every time Smith gets on the ball in those wide areas, whether it be off the right-hand side or the left on this occasion, she's always looking to go forward with the ball, whether that be through dribbling, whether that be through a pass, where we just saw here. She's always looking to go forward. She's an exciting young player, and certainly been a bright spark in this opening 20 minutes for the US.
The USA on a World Cup record run of 13 consecutive victories. Behind against the Netherlands as De Mello delivers the corner. And Ertz was powerless to keep the ball in play after it had come off the head of Morgan.
It's actually a really good delivery from De Mello here, and it's actually Morgan that makes the contact. It's a driven corner. really hard to defend, but just Morgan, she just starts too close to the ball and isn't able to backpedal and generate the power to head towards goal, but a really good delivery.
And it's back in her defensive position, and the poke forward finds Morgan. And in turn, wasn't too far away from setting Smith away. Towards layoff for Pelova, a fraction short. Horan. Gruenen away. Germany, Spain, Japan, we've all seen statement performances from them so far. Wins for both of these sides on the opening day, but I would love a statement performance, one of them to go with the points on the board. As Martins, as the Netherlands look to deliver that. That's not a bad cross, and it needed a touch away off the head of Dunn. In once again beyond Snoyce. And well marshalled behind by Emily Fox.
Yeah, you mentioned there the teams have already met. You can just see, we're looking back to the delivery. Martins, great delivery, and Crystal Dunn gets a crucial header there at the back post just to take it away from Van der Donk. And then the cross that comes in for Pelova, we just see it go out of play. But you spoke about those teams making statement performances. We've seen Japan and Spain and Germany. I spoke to Van der Donk coming into this tournament, and she was quite happy that no one's talking about the Netherlands. It takes a little bit of pressure off of them, and they've actually had two really good, the opening performance against Portugal, yes, it was only 1-0, but the actual performance was a really good performance, one that excited me. And then we can see in here, 23 minutes in, 1-0 up against the US, actually rode, you know, the pressure in that opening 15 minutes and found a way back into the game. So they could be one that, you know, quietly going about their business, a slight underdog.
Morgan dealt with by Van der Gracht. Here's Pelova. Sherida Spitzer, the 6 in the Netherlands starting lineup that was also in the 11 that started the 2-0 defeat by the USA in the final 4 years ago. Those 2 goals in the space of 8 second-half minutes from Rapinoe and Lavelle, both of whom are on the bench tonight, proved decisive. Van der Gracht. Looks. Martins forward towards Snoyce. It's into it back for the USA. And then Brooks, not for the first time, with a foul on Fox. And a suggestion that she perhaps just calms down.
Just a little bit late. I think the ball just rolled away from her. Desperate to make a challenge here. You can see, put the pressure on, and just late to the ball. It's a free kick, but nothing more than that.
Danilo might have been caught by Gruenen if the challenge had been on the wrong side of fair. Dunn forward towards Smith. Anticipated initially, but Dunn takes over again. Sophia Smith. Danilo arriving. Morgan was the intended recipient. Van der Donk, looking up defensively, is caught. Draws the foul, wins the free kick. Danger averted.
They get themselves, the US, into a, you know, another good position from wide areas, and on this occasion, as I said, we're just looking here at Rudd's goal again. Great finish, hard and low from the edge of the box. You could just see the setback here from Pelova. She gets a second opportunity, and a great finish to put the Netherlands 1-0 up.
A bit of information that the USA will not welcome. The Dutch have a perfect record at Women's World Cups when they have scored the opening goal in the game.
Good job you're the star, because I wouldn't have known that.
Challenges flying in thick and fast. Snoyce just about getting the better of Sullivan, who then caught Van der Donk.
Van der Donk doesn't mind a little scrap. For as good as she is technically, She's tenacious. She likes to get into a scrap with players, a little battle. She likes to get under their skin. It's the part of the game that I really enjoy with her, watching her.
She is on a yellow card, though, from the opening game. So too Lindsay Horan for the USA.
The goal really has settled the Netherlands team. They're less rushed in possession. You can just see here the composure now at the back. They feel less threatened. And the US have backed off just a little bit with that.
Goals change games, we know that, but that one in particular seemed to come at a really good time for the Netherlands.
Yeah, it definitely did, and it was in a transition moment, so I think you can just see the US here, when they were doing this high press, they're a little bit vulnerable in those transition, in the gaps between the lines, and I think you could see that now. The press is a little bit more half-hearted than it was fully in those opening 15 minutes.
Towering leap from Ertz. Falls kindly for Martins. Pelova. One forward from Van der Donk. This is eventually where the pass goes. Daniela Van der Donk up against Crystal Dunn. Deep with the delivery in towards Brooks. Well, how about that for an effort? Dominique Janssen, it was dipping, just not quite enough.
It's set up beautifully. You see here the cross from Van der Donk. She gets it on her left foot, an in-swinging cross to the back post. The clearance from Rodman fell straight to Jensen, and naturally, having played with Jensen, she's not doing anything other than shooting this, and what an effort that is from distance.
Grunen for the throw. In there, had to have her wits about her as Janssen took aim. Here's Ruud. Grunen. Slightly away from trouble. Spitzer. Snois for Ruud. Here's Van der Donk. Brooks. He's got Fox for company. Really clever. Daniela Van der Donk. Jill Ruud. Janssen. Pelova. In the end, a comfortable claim from there, but that was promising again from the Netherlands. Something promising now, though, from the USA, led by Sophia Smith, who's ridden a couple of challenges before belatedly going to ground, and she doesn't get a decision.
That's where they need to be careful, this Netherlands. It was a great counter-attack, and when, as I mentioned, when Smith gets on the ball, she's so direct and causes problems. She was actually lucky because there was slight contact. I think if she'd have gone down with the initial contact as opposed to when losing control of the ball, she might have actually got the free kick. You can just see here, Groningen tries to make the tackle, and for me, it's one of those when, as a player, when you're about to play the pass and then someone comes in and slides, it looks like a free kick, and at times it isn't.
We've got a free kick to defend now of the Netherlands, to be taken by Andy Sullivan. Ran amongst the targets. Short though instead to Germa. Change of angle. And look who's back there, Lika Martins, to head it behind for a corner.
Better delivery on this occasion. The US, you see, they just change the angle of the delivery that comes in. A good lofted pass from Dunn to the back post, and Martins there to do her defensive duties. and head one away for a corner.
Plenty of opportunities to get the set-piece radar sorted out of the US collectively. It's Sullivan again, this time from the corner. Moran keeps it alive. It's looking to do likewise. Morgan nodding it on. The Netherlands have got themselves organised defensively after one or two early anxious moments. Pullover. This is Jackie Gruenen. It's it back from Roord. Put together a run of 3 successive wins, have the Netherlands, since they were beaten in April by Germany. Gruenen. It's back to her goalkeeper. Into Smith. With De Mello. Rodman. And to get Fox in behind, something that she was able to do regularly against the Vietnam, but not so far against the Netherlands. Moran. Give Roord the slip. Down from Morgan. Fleet of foot riding challenges. Alex Morgan is in. And might get a second opportunity. Morgan again. Henley Poe behind by Spitzer. It was the first ball across the face of goal towards Rodman that was the more dangerous.
He's really good here from Morgan. I expected her to shoot from those angles, and she does well to get the ball across the 6-yard box. It's well defended from the Netherlands. It falls back to Morgan, who again, the Netherlands defensively have been very good, and they defend yet another promising attack from the US, but have to defend another corner now.
We're in towards Ertz, who trying to guide it towards the near post. Hers was not the final touch.
It's always difficult this for Ertz, where the ball's going away from, or you're moving away from goal as the ball's coming in, just to try and generate any sort of power. But, you know, luckily for her, she gets the team another corner.
And again into that congested 6-yard box and flicked just off target by Haran.
That was a much better delivery, more pace on the ball. And you can just see Haran just gets there a little bit too early, so she's underneath the delivery. Ends up hitting him on the back. But a really good delivery from Sullivan.
And de Gracht is the player that the Netherlands have a concern about, and chiefly it is the captain, Sherida Spitzer, who is demonstrating that concern. Andries Jonker, though, will be mightily impressed with the 36 minutes that his side have put in against the world champions, against a side that they've got the scars from previous battles still to show. They've only ever beaten the USA previously to today in friendly internationals.
Just looking here at the possible injury to Van der Graan. I can't actually see what happened there from that delivery. She looks to have hurt her ankle. She looks in a bit of pain. See here, just popping, I would assume, some painkillers for that. But a player that this Netherlands team certainly won't want to lose.
Retiring after the World Cup, Stoffanie van der Graagt. The list of clubs that she has represented, most recently Inter, Ajax, Bayern, Barcelona as well. It's a who's who of European football, that experience so vital and would be so very badly missed at the heart of the Netherlands defence if she is unable to continue. Away by Spitzer. The USA take advantage of the numerical advantage into Rodman. It's Verdun. The Black returns. It's to return quickly. Sophia Smith away from Pelova. Dangerous cross, not dealt with by Donsala. Relieved that it fell to a player in orange. Now Brooks, as the Netherlands look to counter. Janssen not comprehensively cleared. But so alive was Jackie Groen into the danger in ahead of De Mello.
And had to be. You can just see here, this is the free kick. She gets herself in a good position to firstly intercept it and then win her team a free kick just to settle the play. But the delivery from Morgan out on that left-hand side, and a lot of good, you can see here. Oh, it's Smith, isn't it? The delivery here, and Domsela has to get a touch because it's actually Morgan that's challenging. It will fall to Morgan if she doesn't get anything on it.
De Mello throwing herself at the ball. Out this time by Groenen. And a sense of urgency from the USA as we head towards half-time. Just 6 first-half minutes remaining. Sullivan with the throw. Away by Janssen. Martins. Van der Donk. Spitzer. It's Roard.
You can see the two differences between the two teams. The Netherlands are quite comfortable to possess the ball and rest in that, in possession moments, whereas every time the US have a corner, a throw-in, a free kick, they want to get the game back underway and play with that intensity, and they want to play fast and try and catch the Netherlands when they're out of shape. So two completely different styles, but I think it makes the game even more exciting.
Van der Graat. Spitzer. Pelova. There's Dominic Janssen. Looks for Raw. The ball well here, the Netherlands, frustrating the USA. That's clear. It's very nearly turned into a pass for Smith. Keep moving around that USA front three in the hopes of unsettling the Dutch defence. Morgan's gone out to the left. It's the US defence that's got some work to do here, though, as Brooks takes on Fox. Spitzer. Rood. Verdonk couldn't get the better of Dunn on the half turn. Perfect group stage record in 2019 did the Netherlands, looking to make it 2 from 2 in 2023. It's the most formidable opponent possible. Here's Crystal Dunn to the feet of Alex Morgan. Holland. By Van der Gracht. Nothing more than muted appeals for handball.
Yeah, the US are struggling when the Dutch have the ball, when they have that much comfortable possession. They're actually struggling because they're a team that like to show an aggressive press, but they're not sure how to press a team that are so comfortable with the ball.
Smith, nicely done. Here's Rodman. Played by Brooks. Immediately back it comes, and it's Van der Gracht who has to clear with more conviction. De Mello shrugging off Gruenen. It's been impressive, Savannah De Mello, if you consider she had only a substitute appearance for the USA in the pre-World Cup friendly against Wales prior to the tournament. He's now started the opening 2 games. It's not an easy team to get into. Isn't going to gain an advantage, so there will be another free kick for the latest foul that has been drawn by Savannah De Mello.
She's had a brilliant game. You just see it just delays the take, and it's Groningen again who makes the foul. But De Mello, you're right what you said there. You know, breaking into this US team over the years has never been easy. So to do that on a World Cup stage and perform the way she has in both games is impressive.
Even a US side that is in transition. No secret has been made of that. It is a period of transition from which they can build with high-quality players. Esme Brooks. Swiss. Martins for Gruenen. A few seconds of regulation time in this first half. Additional minutes we go. The side that is in front is not allowing itself to be hurried when in possession. And as the first half has progressed, they have kept possession increasingly well.
They have, and as much as, you know, the back three, and I said, could cause this Netherlands team a problem in those transition moments, it actually, the formation that they play actually allow for lots more bodies to be around the ball once they progress into those middle, you know, middle to final third areas. You can see the amount of orange shirts you can see when they're in there, which allows them to be more comfortable because they have so many more options in possession of the ball further up the pitch.
Kerma. Back to Dunn. Super turn. Really good progress made again by Smith. It was Spitzer with the challenge, which was firm but fair. And Like that one from Dunn on Jill Ward.
You can hear the boos in the crowd, I think, from the US fans. Smith does really well here. I think it's a really good tackle from Smith. She's a very experienced player, does really well just to get herself in between the ball and Smith to draw, you know, potentially what could have been a foul on her. And then we've seen there Crystal Dunn just late on Rudd, who wins her team a free kick just to play out this final minute of the half.
Header away by Ertz. Clock is against USA, getting themselves an equalizer before half-time. And the Netherlands strike another mighty blow. It's going to be additional time at the end of stoppage time with Jackie Grunen having taken a blow to the face.
I've seen this just as play progressed, and you can see, I think, the swing from Demella there. It was a swing back at Groningen. She's obviously trying to knock her off the ball. I'm not sure it's an elbow, but certainly using her arm to shove her out of the way. It probably looked a lot worse than what it was.
There's been an ongoing battle between those two players throughout the opening 45 minutes. And yet another late challenge, and this time Yamashita feels she needs to take action. Van der Donk it was on the receiving end from De Mello.
I actually like it from De Mello. I like that she shows that side to her game. We've seen how comfortable she can be on the ball. We've seen Groningen get around her most of the game and, you know, really try and be aggressive with her. So it's really good to see this part of the game from her.
Spencer's set pieces have been crucial for the Netherlands throughout their more than 200 caps. No danger from that one. Moran, to the 5th minute of first half stoppage time we go. And we're only expecting 3. Well, this repeat of the 2019 final has more than lived up to expectation. It is the side, though, that suffered the disappointment 4 years ago, who are in front. Jill Ward's strike past Alicia Neyer. The difference between the sides, it came after the USA had started well. Morgan and De Mello both had half chances before the US fell behind, and the US are behind in a World Cup match for the first time since the 2011 quarter-final. Work for them to do. Andries Jonker, the happier of the head coaches. Half-time in Wellington, USA 0, Netherlands 1.
Steve Wyeth and Farah Williams, thank you very much for taking us up to half-time. Jill Ward walking off there. She is the scorer of that goal for the Netherlands. What a game then, because we knew it would be fiery. We knew there's so much at stake. I mean, in terms of jeopardy, look, it's only game 2 in the group stage, but you know, we heard that stat actually about the US. It's the first time they've trailed in a World Cup game since 2011. As for the Netherlands, they've never actually lost a game where Jill Ward has scored in their last 15 games that she's scored in. So that's looking pretty good for them. And they've won every single Women's World Cup match that they've played in where they've scored first. So the omens, you would think, are in the Netherlands' favour. The question is, Fern, can they keep it up for the second half?
They're playing really well towards the second half of the first half, towards the back end. They really grew into the game. It was kind of like USA didn't know what to do. They were keeping the ball, they were possessing it really well. After the first 15 minutes, USA started really well. They came out the blocks, they were explosive. We were like, OK, this is going to be America's day, because Netherlands looked a bit shaky in their play, but actually once the goal went in, it kind of all changed for them a little bit, and since then they've been really composed and they're showing signs of holding on to the leads. USA haven't really had a sniff since then, really.
And it's an unusual and unfamiliar position for the US to be in. They haven't been here for a very long time, and you played in the USA. You played with some of those players that, Megan Rapinoe, which is on the bench, but, you know the mentality of this side. They do not accept losing. So at the moment, even though, you know, it's only a group game. This is going to hurt them.
Absolutely. And you saw towards the end of that half, there was a bit of frustration. You know, there was flying tackles coming in and late challenges and things like that. But the way the game started, it was really frantic, really intense. And they were high pressing, they were aggressive, they were flying down the flanks, but they didn't get the just rewards. And now they're having to revert to, you know, what do we do next?
Yeah, and that is, as we say, a very unfamiliar position. But let's take a look at the goal then. What a strike from Jill Roord, but fantastic build-up play as well, Fern.
Yeah, fantastic build-up play. You can see here, like, Leaky Martin's picking up the ball in midfield and she dribbles and she drives and there's not a player in sight. Crystal Dunn has a little slip here, but comes out to Pelova and we thought maybe she might shoot there, but actually she gets the fortune. Comes out to Jill Roord at the edge of the box, and what an absolutely fantastic strike it is for her. But you can see just the US kind of, as the bodies come in here, they're all defending, they're all backing off a little bit, and no one's picked up Roord on the edge of the box. She's just waiting for it patiently, and what a fantastic strike to hit in the bottom corner there, that is.
Yeah, and you can just tell that, you know, it's the touch out of her feet as well to execute that, take that early. And it makes it really difficult for the goalkeeper to get down and make a save.
Yeah, she's so unsighted, isn't she? She's got 3 USA players right in front of her as the shot's taken, so she can't see the ball coming through.
No, exactly.
And actually, that was the Netherlands' first shot of the game, and they've put it in the back of the net, and actually, it's turned the game massively on its head.
Yeah, it really has, hasn't it? You don't leave Jill Roord unmarked, do you? That's a bit of a rookie mistake. As for the USA, you did actually touch on it just a moment ago. They have had joy down the flanks, particularly on the left. I guess that the negative for them is just that the end product has been so poor, the decision-making as well.
Well, as you see in this example, Sophia Smith carrying the ball, driving at players at pace, and it's just the end product, you know, the final decision-making in and around that final third and the box to get an opportunity on goal. Here, Haran, a lovely turn, a decisive pass that splits the whole midfield, and they're up the pitch, they're creating overloads in those wide areas and trying to commit players. But once they get in here, you know, you have to give credit to the Dutch as well. They're recovering in numbers and limiting the space in and around that 18-yard box. And again, getting behind, they're trying to look for the speed and pace and dynamism of Trinity Rodman, you know, on the right and left-hand side. They've been flip-flopping during this half. Again, carrying the ball with Sophia Smith, driving at players. She was probably unlucky to not get the initial foul there in that scenario, but it's just not coming off for them and they're getting frustrated.
Yeah, this is where they have had joy, though, isn't it? And that's where we saw in the first 15 minutes, we were like, they look dangerous down that left-hand side and we need to keep an eye on that because Spitz potentially could be vulnerable there, but Spitz has done really well. Lots of 1v1 defending for her, and she's actually been up to the challenge of it. But you say just the final decision, the final pass, the little bit lack of quality there that the US are missing is hurting them in this first half.
And as you say, you know, the goal really turned the game on its head, but the Netherlands had to be really patient, didn't they, in those opening exchanges where the US were really explosive and dominant. But what you've seen from the Dutch is that they've just grown into this game, haven't they?
Yeah, they did. They had to grow into the game and say the first 10, 15, they looked a little bit shaky at the back. The US press was really high, really aggressive, and they couldn't really get out at times. You can see here they really did struggle in the first 15, so we were a little bit like, OK, what's going to come of it? But as the game's progressed and as it's grown, we've seen them really start to use the extra player that they've got in midfield and really stretch the US in the wide areas. You see Esme Bruce picking the ball up here and then passing it in so she can dribble and drive, get the early crosses in. And that's where they're showing where they can be dangerous, this Netherlands side, is when they do be a little bit patient in their play. And they again, we see them here using the wide spaces, really stretching the pitch, using Pelova. When she picks it up, she wants to dribble, she wants to drive, and she wants to bring players in with her. So it's really positive signs from them.
Yeah, and once they soaked up that early pressure, they suddenly found composure. You saw defenders, Janssen, de Gracht staying on the ball a bit longer, using a release pass. Then they were able to utilise their wide players, Pelova, Brutes on the other side, to find that switch of play to then go at the US defence.
Fair play to them for doing it as well, because the pressure they were under at the start, it was intense. It could have been easy for them to go, do you know what, we're just going to go long with this. We're going to send US back a little bit. But they kept going with it. They were patient, they believed in themselves, and they trusted in the quality that they've got.
Yeah, and they certainly have, and they've improved, haven't they, since the Euros, which was a disappointing exit. And this was the whole point, wasn't it, with Andries Janker coming in with the quality that he has and really sort of giving a bit of energy to that Dutch side. OK, we're going to bring in Dutch football journalist Anne-Marie Postma now for her take on that first half. Great to see you, Anne-Marie. How are you doing? And how do you summarise that first half performance? Big smile I can see.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing okay, a bit tired. Yeah, I think it's this is the reason you cannot compare this match with the match that was there 4 years ago, because as you talked about it just now, that they show so much confidence, and even though they seemed a bit shaky, the Netherlands in the beginning, they took back control and they just kept passing the ball around behind and kept looking for the chances that you knew they were coming. And then you can see the qualities of Pelova and Brugts on the left and the right side. And especially the one, I mean, what Lieke Martens was doing there was incredible. And it just tells that she gained a lot of confidence from the past year since Andries Jonker came on the team as a head coach. Yeah, so those are the signs that you can just tell this is a different team that was there a year ago, but also that was on the pitch 4 years ago.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, so much more energy in the side. They're so much fitter under Andries Jonker as well. He gets them playing this really dynamic style of football. I mean, they're doing well so far, just 1 goal up. Would you like to see any changes in the second half?
Well, by the looks of it, it seems Andries Jonker is forced to make a change because Stephanie van der Gracht left the pitch crying with the physio. So he might need a change behind. Yeah, it makes you think about bringing on Annick Nouwen or Damaris Egorola, like he did in the first match. But then, you know, she's better as a midfielder, so he might save her to bring her on later on. Yeah.
Well, they're doing well at the moment, aren't they? Let's hope that smile lasts for you, Anne-Marie. Thank you very much, Anne-Marie Postma, for joining us. OK, well, with the football coming thick and fast as we reach the midpoint of this group stage, let's have a look back at what happened yesterday when Canada took on the Republic of Ireland. Your commentary comes from Mark Scott and Izzy Christensen.
Well, we know that Republic of Ireland can be a real threat from set pieces. Here is an early corner for the girls in green. Stacked 6-yard box, and it could be creeping all the way in. It has done! Republic of Ireland have their first ever goal at a major tournament. And who else was going to score it apart from that woman? Katie McCabe bends it in, and Republic of Ireland have the lead.
Tell you what, that is straight off the training ground. That is intentional.
Lawrence. Grosso chases and gets there. Fleming waits in the middle. Oh, and it was nearly an own goal. It is an own goal. Canada back on terms. Megan Connolly, the unfortunate player.
It's just the outstretched leg of Connolly that guides it past Courtney Brosnan.
Here's a chance, and Canada have got themselves in front. Adriana Leon with the unerring finish, and Bev Priestman's side have turned things around. The girls in green have given it their all, but they are eliminated from the World Cup.
All 23 players are out there training this morning. This afternoon, they'll travel down the road to Sydney, where Sarina Wiegman will face the media in her press conference, and the players will get a first look at the pitch at the Sydney Football Stadium. They go into the game knowing a win could be enough to secure their place in the last 16 and with a game to spare, and that then surely would take a bit of pressure off this team who've had a sticky start to this tournament.
Yeah, it is a bit of a sticky start, isn't it, against Haiti. It wasn't the performance that many people would have expected. I don't know, we've discussed it previous occasions as well. We know Sarina Wiegman likes to keep the same starting 11. She hasn't had the luxury of doing that in recent games because of big injuries to big game players as well. Keira Walsh and Georgia Stanway, they've been a sort of this lovely duo who've been able to play off each other and really play to each other's strengths by controlling their own areas of the pitch. Georgia Stanway with a bit more freedom, you'd say, going forward. Keira Walsh really that sort of stalwart. How can they continue to take advantage of that, and who is going to play in the number 10?
I think for me, they just need to get Keira on the ball a little bit more. Like, teams will try and mark her out of the game, so that's where we've got to be a little bit cute and a little bit clever. And you know, with regards to the number 10, I think for me personally, I would love to see Lauren James given a go in there. I think she offers that composure, that potential link-up play between the midfield and the front line, and we know how direct she can be on the ball and how dangerous she can be.
Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Lauren James, you feel that there was some that dynamism missing.
She's got that unique quality and spark to make things happen. You know, she's creative and she'll take advantage by running at players and drawing them.
Yeah, OK, well, England play on Friday. Right now, though, we're about to enter the second half of what has been a huge game here. It is the USA against the Netherlands. Netherlands leading this one at the moment. USA in a very unfamiliar position as the substitutions are coming on. Let's hand you over to our commentary team then, Steve Wyeth and Farrah Williams.
Rashmin, thank you very much. Yes, a change apiece at half-time. Rose Lavelle, who many thought would start this game, comes on for the second 45 minutes in place of Savannah De Mello. And that first half knock suffered by Stephanie van der Gracht for the Netherlands means she has not returned for the second 45. Aniek Nguyen is her replacement in the Dutch defence. It is an awful lot of work for Lavelle et al. To do for the United States if they are to turn things around in the second half. They outshot the Dutch by 9-2, but had just 39% possession. And they are going to struggle without the ball, Farrah Williams, to really impose themselves on this game.
And that might be why Lavelle's come into the game, because she is somebody that, you know, can take the ball in these tight areas. And as I mentioned before the half, how many numbers this Netherlands team have centrally. They struggled centrally, the US, so having Lavelle in there when the ball goes in, somebody that can give them that little bit of composure when they are, you know, trying to play through the thirds. And obviously Van der Gracht, that's a massive loss for this Netherlands team, but Nguyen, who's got, you know, good experience in tournament football, had a really good Euros last summer. It looks like a like-for-like replacement there.
Sullivan looking to find Lavelle. Instead, the ball finds its way to Rodman. Only half poked away by Spitzer. He's done immediately forward in the second half and looking to get away from Palova. He's slightly fortunate to see the ball bounce back in her direction. Super touch that was from Martins. It very nearly took her beyond the reach of Naomi Girma.
I was surprised to see De Mello taken out as opposed to Sullivan. I thought actually she was the more effective of the midfielders. Looking at how the US have set up, it looks like Sullivan, though, has come and sat just in front of this back four, allowing then Haran and Lavelle, who's just come into the game, maybe to get a little bit higher in those more advanced positions.
It's a slightly heavy touch from Lavelle, but Fox is on hand. Challenge from Groenen. Here's Van der Donk for Roord. 17th minute goal is the one that separates the sides. Graceful in possession, away from a couple of half-hearted challenges.
She's really grown as a player. I remember her time at Arsenal and also in this Netherlands team. She wasn't, you know, a regular starter, but certainly her time at Wolfsburg and now obviously coming back to the WSL with Manchester City. She certainly looks like a player that has matured over you know, the last season, certainly in this Wolfsburg team.
All of her appearances at the 2019 World Cup were as a substitute, but very much a mainstay now of the Dutch midfield.
Yeah, there's always been a quality player, but maybe it's the attitude that went with that. It probably didn't quite sit nicely.
Martins in towards Snoys, away by Germa. Here's Ruud. Palova. Bamboozle done. Once again, the Netherlands settling into the rhythm of trying to dominate possession. Something they've been pretty successful in doing since getting themselves in front. Two competitive games have been won 1-0. The final World Cup qualifier against Iceland to get them to this tournament. The opener against Portugal. Andonovski will be desperately hoping it's not to become a third successive 1-0 victory for Andries Jonker's side. Victory for either tonight could guarantee their progress to the round of 16, depending on what happens in the other game in this section, which is coming up later this morning when Portugal take on Vietnam in Hamilton. Jansen's header. Here's Ron. Snoys. He's worked tirelessly to try and stretch the US defence. Challenge on Pelova. Smith is not a good one.
Just really good feet here, Palova. The way she shapes up, looks like she's going inside, takes it on the outside, and Smith just catches the foot, but really good footwork from Palova there. Risky one inside her own half.
Well, the Netherlands might not like the bumps and the bruises, but they won't mind any evidence that the most successful team in World Cup history is becoming frustrated by the way things are going. Maybe they can change that here with Lavelle. The tenacity from Grunen, that's a bad one. Rose Lavelle will do really well to escape the game's first yellow card. Just 5 minutes after her introduction into the book goes Rose Lavelle.
Yeah, you can see her just lunge at Grunen here, completely misses the ball, and for me, a definite yellow card. But Lavelle's really struggled in this opening 5 minutes of the second half. I think the intensity of the game and trying to get up to the speed of it, she just struggled a little bit.
Rodman working hard, but Grunen coming up in possession. Ertz. Hauled back unceremoniously by Snoys.
It's very unlike the US players to lose their head. In recent years, you've never really seen that they're quite a composed team when it comes to that side of the game. They know teams will try and get in their faces, try and disrupt them, make it uncomfortable, and they never normally react the way they have in this game. But that just shows you how well the Netherlands are playing and how much control they have within the game.
Ruud for Brooks. Here's Grunen. Van der Donk. 142nd cap tonight, Daniela Van der Donk. Lavelle. On the reach of Smith. There was a little bit of a breakdown in communication though between Spitzer and Janssen. Horan. And the US take advantage. Smith looking to poke it back towards Horan. Forward. Smith out of play off Spitzer.
You can see there, it's actually Ruud that's getting back into a position, and that's what I spoke about, the attitude. And what I meant by the attitude of Ruud was, you know, she's an attack-minded player. You can just see Morgan here inside the box.
Netherlands. Pressure on the Dutch defence means the ball has not been cleared. Horan. Ward can't get her foot on the ball. Groenen moves towards Pelova. Snoys. Here's Pelova. Spitzer. On the way to Dunn. The Netherlands settle for the throw. Not used to seeing their side struggling, certainly not used to seeing them behind under Vlatko Andonovski, who has won 51 of his 62 games in charge prior to today.
What they don't need to do, though, the US, is to rush now. There's plenty of time for them to find their way back into the game. You know, that first opening 15 minutes of the first half, I thought they was dangerous, certainly in those wide areas. I think if they can find a way of getting and finding Rodman and Smith down the sides, they could cause this Netherlands team problems. They just need to be more patient with that, as opposed to trying to, you know, go forward at every opportunity.
Only once in the previous 8 editions of the Women's World Cup have the USA not finished top of their group. Would be a fate likely to fall on them again, though, were they to lose this game. Could potentially set up a mouth-watering contest with Portugal on Tuesday. That's for the future. For the here and now, what can Rodman do? Brooks completing the clearance after Nguyen had headed the ball away. Nguyen gets the better of Morgan. Brooks likewise.
See there at the bottom of the screen, in terms of possession and passes made, the Netherlands have almost doubled the amount of passes they've made to the US. When, you know, the US aren't renowned for being a possession-based team, they are more of a direct team, but the amount of passes that the Netherlands have made in this game.
Lavelle. Rodman determined, put away by Nguyen, the half-time substitute. Chelsea player who spent the second half of the season on loan at AC Milan. Sullivan. Van der Donk up against Rodman, who is demonstrating a more determined streak that the US have come out with in this second half. Oh, that's really lovely play, and it took a well-timed challenge from Spitzer to poke the ball behind, with Lavelle marauding.
They need to try and get more into this flow, the US. When they play off of Morgan and have runners like Lavelle there, as we've seen, that run off of her, they're really effective with that. They just haven't done it enough throughout the game.
Lavelle with the corner kick. Away by Janssen. Get as far as Germa. Fires it back in with too much intensity.
It's wasteful from Germa. Just mentioned there how well the Netherlands possessed the ball, and you know, if the US could do that and be a little bit more patient with it before they go forward with these passes, they might give themselves better opportunity to create better and more effective chances.
Janssen. It's a Pelova. He has noticeably dropped back into something resembling an orthodox right-back position at times in this second half as the US look to get themselves back into the game. Haran was caught late, but Morgan continues and very nearly picked out the head of Trinity Rodman.
She does well there, Morgan, to get a cross away, but the tackle from Van der Donk, it'd be interesting to see a replay of it. It looks as if she might have been slightly late there. No, she actually does a really good block. Haran tries to play the ball down the line, and Van der Donk does brilliant to get her body in the way of a pass. Of course, it still falls through to Morgan, who manages to get a cross away, but really good defending from the Netherlands.
I would suggest that Daniela Van der Donk knew exactly what she was doing there.
I think she is the only person that knows what Van der Donk is doing, because I promise you, nobody else does.
Painful one for Haran, even if the robust challenge was a fair one.
You can already see that the knee's heavily strapped, so it might just be a reoccurring injury that she has, as opposed to any contact that was made.
The goal she scored against Vietnam was in addition to the two that she got at the last tournament, one in the 13-0 drubbing of Thailand, the other in the victory over Sweden. Hansen up but not clear. Clever play from Lavelle earns the USA a corner.
They really are clocking up these corners, aren't they, the US? I think, what, this is the 8th corner now, and nothing's come of it.
Haran back on the field, feeling she's got a score to settle. The evidence of what we've seen doesn't support the way that Lindsay Haran is clearly feeling.
No, for sure. I mean, as I say, Van der Donk, you know, we all know she likes that side of the game, you know, the aggressive side of the game as well as the technical side, but for me, she's not in the wrong on this occasion. I don't know what's just happened here within the box, but Haran's certainly come back on.
If I was making a list of players at this tournament that I would not be picking a confrontation with, Van der Donk would be near the top of that list.
I'm with you on that one. Look, she's so cheeky, mischievous. You can see the grin on her face. She knows what she's doing. She's in Haran's head, and to get in these USA players' head, you're gaining an advantage, and that's what you have to do against the top teams.
Eventually, the corner from Lavelle is a good one, and has generated an equalising goal. And wouldn't you just know it, Lindsay Haran, self-motivated on the end of the delivery to make it 1-1.
It's like it was written. It's crazy. That little kerfuffle inside the box, obviously for defending team, can be a really big distraction. And on this occasion, it looks like it might have just been that. A perfect delivery in from Lavelle, and as you mentioned there, none other than Haran seems to find herself free. She frees herself up here, free header at the near post, unmarked, and gets a really good headed goal for her team to put them back in at 1-1.
We thought the confrontation might work in Van der Donk's favour. Hasn't. Lindsay Horan managed to channel the injustice that she felt into the best possible response. An equalising goal for the world champions, who have got it back level when this was starting to look like it was going to be a very, very difficult afternoon in Wellington. Smith powering forward. Well, can the Netherlands come again? Can they turn containment back into an attacking threat?
I think this could just be the moment where momentum shifts. I think the Netherlands have been in so much control, and as you say, the goal really come from nothing for the US, and it could be, you know, one that's really going to hurt this Netherlands team, because now the US are back into the game with a goal, and I'm sure that will really kick them on. You can see here the goal again, really good run from Iran to that near post. She actually runs with purpose, speed, and as the ball makes contact with her head, no keeper is saving it in the near post.
Well, eventually made a set piece count, the USA. The quality from Rose Lavelle, the brilliantly timed run and header from Lindsay Horan. All square once again between the 2019 World Cup finalists. We are set up for a scintillating final 25 minutes.
You said it would be an exciting game, a really competitive game, and it hasn't disappointed. It's just a shame the timing of the game here in the UK.
I know you've been a big fan of breakfast football. This is elite football for the insomniacs. Up with the milkman. Pullover. Germa. Come to ground. And she is the latest to be asking about whether there's going to be any punishment. This time it was Martins with the challenge.
There's nothing more than a free kick for me. Martin's clearly trying, you know, for an attempt to win the ball a little bit late, but nothing more than a free kick.
Has he got another tactical plan up his sleeve? Andries Jonker is hoping to, on the first side, to inflict a defeat on the holders of the World Cup trophy, since the USA did so themselves to Japan back in 2015.
It's a big ask. This US team, even when their backs are against it, they just have this mentality about them where they know nothing in tournament football other than to win. And as much as you heard the Netherlands coach talking about, you know, the physicality of the game and everybody's caught up with the Americans, they have something else that nobody else can buy, and that is that winning mentality.
Lavelle has made a difference. Horan. Once again involved with Van der Donk, the two players, the only two players who came into the game on a yellow card, with the threat of missing the final round of group stage matches. Janssen. Rodman, brilliant work away from Janssen. Into Morgan, who stabs the USA in front.
I think this might have a second look. It looked as if it was offside, but I'm not sure. I think that Morgan just went a little bit earlier. From Janssen, she needs to do better. Play the way you're facing. She turned into trouble, and you can just see here the ball from Rodman was really good, but Morgan just run herself offside. But a great one-touch finish. But I would imagine after a VAR look, it will be chalked off.
Well, it looked too good to be true, and that US fan might want VAR to intervene, but VAR has done nothing more than ratify the on-field decision. remains. But with a quarter of the game to play, I suspect anything might just happen in the final 22.5 minutes. Absorbing contest, one of the outstanding games of the tournament so far, has been produced in the first game between two sides ranked inside the top 10 in the world rankings. This was the one that many have been looking forward to. He's delivered on all possible promise and expectation. Rodman. Nguyen into touch. Lavelle. This is Smith. Stumble allows Pullover to take over. Van der Donk. One for Snoyce to chase, but she is isolated. Put up by Pullover. Oh, that's a poor pass. Smith in. US in business here. Poked away by Spitzer, just as Halan thought she might be in for another attempt at goal.
Just need to keep that concentration in the Netherlands, just as they start to tire. The last 20 minutes of this game, it's been a highly competitive game. Really physical, physically demanding for both teams. But in those defensive thirds, you need to be concentrating. Sloppy mistakes there from the Netherlands and nearly, put themselves in danger of conceding.
Change on the way. And this won't necessarily be seen as a positive alteration because it's a striker off. Katja Snoyce departs. Not in her place, a midfielder, Damaris Egarola. Another Lyon player into the action. A former Everton player replaces a current one.
I think with that substitution, we might just see maybe a change in formation for this Netherlands team, just to try and gain a little bit of control back to the game.
Well, Martins will play as the focal point of the attack now. Having to improvise up front with...
Be interesting if they put an extra one at the back. Maybe whether it be a 4 or a 5, you can already see Pullover on this near-hand side has gone deeper.
Another US corner, this time off Spitzer. And last time they had a corner, they scored. Expectation and anticipation that they might do so again.
They've had so many corners, this US team, and you would think with the quality they have within a team, maybe more than one goal would have come from it.
Lavelle. Another really good one. Van Domsela under pressure. A little too much pressure. It was Ertz leaping.
I think she has every right there, Ertz, to challenge for the ball. It's a floated ball in from Lavelle from the corner. The keeper's obviously going to come for it, and it's the attacker's right to go and make contact with the ball. And of course she makes contact with the goalkeeper, Domsela there, but there was nothing in it for me.
Not one of those that really required the technology, but the proof there if you still required it. Done. Oh, what a flick that is. Sophia Smith. Look how quickly she was closed down, but look how quickly she's created something for herself again.
She's an exciting player. Every time she gets on the ball, you think something's going to happen. She does really well here. The flick round the corner from Morgan. She takes it really well into the box off her stride. And then the ball just gets stuck under her feet and she can't quite adjust to get the shot away. And just see, there was a half shot, half cross that goes over the crossbar there.
There has only ever been one draw between these sides, and that was the Olympic quarter-final of 2 summers ago, which officially goes down as a 2-2 draw, even though the US won it 4-2 on penalties. Van der Donk and Dunn is the latest confrontation to keep an eye on.
Van der Donk's everywhere. You can see here, she does really well to just nick in front of Dunn and then draws the foul for her team. It's a definite foul. She takes actually 2 fouls on the bounce before the referee actually gives the free kick.
I don't know who's enjoying themselves more, whether it's Van der Donk or you.
I definitely am. I love watching Van der Donk, one of my favourite players, because she has both sides to a game. It excites me. But she's certainly had some jewels today against a few of these US players, that's for sure.
Talked about neither of these sides starting with a statement performance. What we have certainly seen from them in Wellington is a demonstration of their competitive and combative instincts. Rodman switching sides and trying to have some success against Spitzer. Van der Donk in once more. Let's start counting them up. How many of her are there on the pitch?
It looks like she's seen how many different jewels she can get into. She's been everywhere today for her team. I think she's had a fantastic performance with and without the ball. But that USA attack there, when they play into Morgan centrally and they have runners off like Rodman, that is when they're at their most effective. And if they did that a little bit more in this game, I can assure you lots more clear-cut chances will come from that.
Dunn wants some movement. Gets it from Morgan. Horan. Out of play off Egarola. All 17 minutes into the first half. A response from the US 17 minutes into the second. And it has been the US on top since the interval. Horan. Fox. Smith against Brooks. 2 exciting young players in confrontation. There's Brooks. It's not so far in this tournament. Now to demonstrate the very best of her attacking abilities. The game against Portugal was too tight for that, and this one most certainly is.
But certainly a really exciting young player. I think when given the opportunity to maybe get in those more advanced positions, we'll probably see the very best of her. But what she can and what she has demonstrated is that she can do both sides of the game, and she is prepared to do that for her team, to sacrifice, you know, the stuff that she's very good at in order to defend for her team, and she's done that really well, certainly in both of these 2 games in this opening World Cup.
Might see her in WSL next season. Her contract with PSV Eindhoven, the club that she has been with throughout her career up until this point, expired at the end of the season, and there is talk of interest from clubs in England, most notably Manchester United and Arsenal.
I was going to say, you must have some info on that, because I haven't heard that one yet. Spill the beans.
You're the one with the finger on the pulse. Here's Pelova. Oh. Pirouetting away from Rodman. Guillermo. Lavelle. Straight into Damaris Egorola. Broad. Egorola. Nicely done for Martins. Not quite out to Brooks with the accuracy it needed, but Fox misjudged the flight of the ball. Esme Brooks. Got too many targets at the moment. Certainly the penalty area more congested with white shirts than orange. Jackie Gruenen. Pelova. Gruenen demanding a pass which isn't forthcoming. Instead, Van der Donk. A bit more creative. Here's Martins. Pelova. Roard. Wonderful pullback. Brooks takes aim. Heroic block from Julie Ertz to keep it at 1-1.
It's a great block here from Ertz. It's really good play from the Netherlands. It's Pelova that just slides in. Ruud who cuts it back, and Brooks at the far post. Really good contact, and Ertz manages to get herself in a way and block the ball towards goal. And now has to defend a corner for her team, but really good play there from the Netherlands. And if it wasn't for Ertz getting in the way of it, it could have been a goal for the Netherlands.
Spitzer with the corner. Just the Netherlands second. Off ahead of Haran, but not away. Pelova. Brooks. Gruenen for Pelova. Dunn forcing her in a direction she doesn't want to be going. And eventually calls the challenge and wins the free kick. That's excellent play from Crystal Dunn.
I think the free kick's gone against Dunn here. I actually thought she won the ball there. You can see clearly against Pelova, she's won it, but I think Pelova might have got... Okay, she didn't. It was Pelova that then fouled Dunn after, Crystal Dunn.
Relief, I thought it was going mad there for a minute.
I know. I thought the referee pointed the other way. It's a bit like the goal yesterday in the game, where the referee calls and says it's offside, no goal, but it was actually onside in the goal.
Cleared only as far as Lavelle. Who scored the scintillating second in the final 4 years ago that finished off the Netherlands. In fact, she has 2 in her last 3 appearances against the Dutch.
She had a really good performance. I remember that World Cup final 2019. Lavelle was exceptional in that game and well deserving of her goal.
They were far and away the better side in that final, the USA. This has been much more even. Smith for Rodman, who is in. And that is far and away the best opportunity the USA have had to make it 2-1.
And it's that combination, Smith and Rodman. It's Smith that finds Rodman behind this Netherlands back line. Jensen does well just to make Rodman come away a little bit from goal to make the angle a little bit more difficult for her. And Rodman, great effort across goal, but it just drags wide of the far post.
Her 3rd and 4th international goals in the pre-World Cup friendly against Wales could not get her first World Cup goal when the opportunity presented itself there. Horan. Smith. Lavelle helping it on. Morgan. Well, he was claiming counter-claim. Netherlands thought it might have taken a final touch off Morgan, but it will be a corner. USA's 9th of the game. And the greatest enthusiasm is coming from their supporters, looking to inspire and urge on Lavelle. Comes from Rose Lavelle. It's another awkward one, and rifled in. And it needed a touch. The shot from Smith to guide it off target, off the head of Lika Martins.
Wow. I thought this was flying into the top corner. The way Smith gets over the ball and hits it with her left foot, I think it's Martins at the far post. It just heads it away from goal, but it certainly looked like it was flying into that top corner.
A goal-saving intervention from a player more used to scoring at the other end than preventing the opposition from doing so. Lavelle once again picks out a teammate. Gruenen turned into trouble in the shape of Dunn. Lavelle looking to find Horan. And Spitzer can only guide it behind once more. They are reeling here, the Netherlands.
Another corner for the Netherlands to defend. And the corner's in from Lavelle. The pace that she's put in on the deliveries have been really effective. Kept it away from the keeper. And, you know, giving her team opportunities towards goal.
Edge of your seat stuff. Lavelle arguably from her preferred side. Horan cleared by Janssen. Lavelle towards Horan once more. Egarola with the required moment of composure. Sophia Smith. Done. Really good crossing opportunity, dealt with though by Spitzer. And deceives Van der Donk. Andy Sullivan. Lavelle for Rodman. Towards Alex Morgan. And Spitzer hesitated. Rodman in again. Janssen up but not away. Pressure piling up from the USA right up until the poor delivery from Rodman. What a good opportunity it was that it came the way of Alex Morgan.
It was a good delivery in from Rodman, and you could just see Morgan working the back, the far shoulder of Spitzer in there. Gets her head towards goal, doesn't generate enough power, and quite comfortable for the Netherlands to defend. But how this ball, the US must be thinking, how has this ball not gone in the back of the net?
There's another Dutch change on the way as they endeavour to stop the flow of US attacks. It is Palova who makes way. Kirsten Kasparai of Manchester City on to replace her. A more orthodox fullback, which is increasingly where Palova was playing.
Exactly. It's interesting because most of the players on the pitch aren't naturally defensive-minded players for this Netherlands team. I'd be surprised if this game finishes 1-1.
He would keep Group E interesting, mind. Offering encouragement to Portugal and Vietnam ahead of their meeting later. Emma back to her goalkeeper. Naya has been watching on from afar for the main in this second half.
She has. The Netherlands haven't been able to create any chances towards this US goal in this half.
Horan and Van der Donk again, and that was less than subtle from the US captain.
They're still at it, 87 minutes in, and they're still going for it. It's a silly foul from Horan. She doesn't need to do it there.
There will be much to discuss when they are reunited at Lyon.
I'm sure we'll see them hug it out at the end of this game. I hope. You don't want that uncomfortable return to club football.
Sherida Spitzer standing over the free kick. Delivery's usually pretty good. Deep this time, off the head of Ertz, but not away. 2 minutes remaining, and those of you who have powered through with the caffeine and some tactical naps at nearly 4 AM UK time can surely cope with a little bit more of the action that we have been enjoying. Could still go either way, even though the clock is ticking towards the conclusion. Andres Jonker might just be the happier of the two if it finishes one apiece.
I would suggest so. I think given the second half performance from the US, for his Netherlands team to stay in it, certainly after the goal, I think the momentum shifted massively into the favour of the US. And the Netherlands has showed that side of them where they can defend, they can do the gritty side of the game. So he'll be pleased with that.
Fox. Sullivan. Hanson will happily allow that to trickle behind for a goal kick.
This is a chance from Smith. The way she just gets over it, keeps it down, the execution, the contact, the technical detail. And it's a fantastic clearance from Martins, because as I said, it looks as if it was flying into that top corner.
Final stoppage time minutes at the end of an absorbing contest. So if the teams amongst the favourite to go deep, to go potentially all the way once again, cannot as yet be separated. Germa. More than losing out. This is Egarola. USA's record-breaking Women's World Cup run of 13 consecutive wins is 4 minutes away from coming to a conclusion. Beaten run of 18 though to be extended. And Domsela quickly off her line with Rodman looking threatening. Brooks. A demonstration of how the Dutch are trying to get the ball. Slightly heavy touch from Dunn. Ward unable to capitalise. That was a little clumsy. Seen as being a 50-50 challenge. Smith. And so fleet of foot. Dunn. It's into Haran. Crystal Dunn. Sophia Smith. And from Kasparai. Is this the moment for the USA? Couldn't quite get themselves lined up. Not as they would have liked, and Sullivan sends it over the bar.
It was wasteful, that from Sullivan in the end. I think Smith does really well here. Beats the fullback, gets the ball in the box, heavy touch there from Rodman. The set wasn't that good, but this one back to Sullivan. I felt she could have done better with the execution of her strike.
Well, the player who puts the Netherlands in front and gave them hope of what would have been a impressive and milestone victory. Jill Roord is the latest to depart. Renata Janssen of FC Twente is her replacement. First appearance of this World Cup for Janssen. Lots of talk about whether the USA were still the power that they have been for so long, whether the gap had been closed by the elite European nations. Latko Andonovski's side have responded well to the first half setback of falling behind. They have been the dominant force in the second half, and there could still be a bit more time to play after the clash of heads between Lavelle and Van der Donk.
Looks nasty, this one. The clash of heads, Lavelle and Van der Donk. Van der Donk's been involved in quite a few collisions. Let's hope she's okay.
Haran, the scorer of the equalising goal, and 60 seconds away from that being the way the game finishes, albeit you would anticipate more time to be added on, and a notable concern here for Andries Jonker, who has already lost Berenstein to injury in this tournament in the opening game, was forced to withdraw Stoffanie van der Gracht at half-time, and now is watching on as the influential Daniela van der Donk receives treatment.
You can just see there's a gash to Van der Donk's head. Don't know whether they'll treat that on pitch or take her off pitch to treat her, but Lavelle seems to be okay and recovered from the collision anyway.
Slowly but surely Lavelle will get herself back up to full match sharpness. She was injured in the game against the Republic of Ireland back in April, which is the reason so far in this tournament we've only seen her as a substitute. But Van der Donk,
she looks like she's about to go swimming.
Maybe this is preparation for the ice bath she has most certainly deserved.
I've never seen this before. I'm sure she won't want to see herself in the mirror with that on.
Well, that's the Roord goal that put the Netherlands in front on 17 minutes and had their supporters dreaming of a famous victory. The US responding just after the hour mark. Lindsay Horan. And that message sent loud and clear that they are still the team to beat. The team that is chasing an unprecedented three-peat of World Cup trophies.
Not sure I can take Van der Donk too serious with that on her head. She will be receiving a few messages from me after this game.
She's given us great entertainment throughout and is giving Farrah Williams some additional ammunition. Garola with the ball forward done. Just about able to tame it. Lavelle. Janssen. There wasn't any real significance there for Kasparai getting the ball forward. Another play beyond the reach of one of the other substitutes, Janssen. No doubt Andries Jonker see this as all part of the progress, the development. The win over Portugal, a point against the USA would be a good point with just the Vietnamese to come for them on Tuesday. No time though for Rodman to come up with something. Needs some support. Lavelle, closest player to it. Pass needed to be more precise. Hops back to Ertz. Nguyen's clearance is not a good one. The bounce of the ball though unfavourable for Lavelle, and Brooks lets it out for a throw. Sullivan. Through and fails to clear. And then makes amends with the challenge on Lavelle. And that's nicely done by Martins to ensure the ball went out of play in favour of the Netherlands. Well, the most anticipated game of this World Cup so far has delivered, absorbing from start to finish, a point apiece for the USA and the Netherlands. The Dutch in front through Gilles Roord's goal just after the quarter of an hour mark. Lindsay Horan and Daniela van der Donk do hug and make up at the end of a combative game between the two, which really summed up the way the contest went in the second half. And not long after the most intense of their confrontations, Horan headed in from Lavelle's corner to make it 1-1. Brooks had the Netherlands' best side of goal after that, and Smith saw her effort deflected wide off the line by Lieke Martins. A brilliant contest and a point apiece, just about right, you would think, as it finishes in Wellington. The USA won, the Netherlands won.
Catch me if I fall.